volcano's about to erupt, to a gecko that literally jumps out of its skin.
This is Trending Tuesdays.
Number 8. Footage of a strange creature in what is thought to be Yalta on the Crimean Peninsula has surfaced online, and a lot of people think it could be a YETI. The video was shot by a hiker who spotted the beast lumbering through the woods, and as you might expect, the footage is rather blurry. Still, many people are convinced the images of a dark, hulking humanoid figure depict a creature that could belong to the YETI, and argue that the hiker heard on the video sounds genuinely confused and frightened while describing what he sees. What do you think? Number 7. 2 towers planned to be built in China are being described as a vertical forest and are thought to be the first of the kind in Asia. The structures are expected to feature more than 1,000 trees and over 2,000 cascading plants and shrubs, covering an area of some 65,000 square feet of the buildings located in Nanjing. All that greenery is expected to absorb around 25 tons of CO2 each year and produce around 60 kilograms of oxygen every day. Construction of the Nanjing Green Towers is expected to be completed by 2018. Number 6. Experts have found zirconia crystals on the island of Mauritius that date up to 3 billion years old. The discovery is thought to provide evidence of an ancient landmass submerged in the Indian Ocean, which could be the ancient continent known as Mauritius. That continent was thought to occupy the waters where Mauritius is now located. Researchers say the crystals were carried to the surface by lava from a volcano on the island underneath Mauritius, meaning the island would have been a part of Mauritius, which experts say was likely covered in volcanoes and subject to frequent earthquakes. Acting as a kind of buffer zone between eastern Madagascar and the western Indian subcontinent, Mauritius is thought to have broken away about 60 million years ago. Number 5. Now we have a similar story from Iceland, except it involves 4 volcanoes on the brink of eruption. Experts say that 4 of the country's biggest volcanoes are primed to erupt, 3 of which have already done so in the past 2 decades. Experts are paying particularly close attention to the Barudarabunga volcano. I hope I got that name right. Well, it's displayed the most recent activity. In 2014, it registered the strongest eruption of its kind in Europe in over 240 years. An estimated 2 cubic kilometers of volcanic material was spewed over the Icelandic highlands for nearly 6 months. Several earthquakes registered in the region might suggest that magma is forming below the surface and could soon lead to another eruption. Number 4. Boxer crabs get the name from a peculiar habit. They use sea anemones in the claws for protection, and it appears like they're wearing tiny boxing gloves. The crustaceans use the anemones for the stinging capability to fight off predators, as well as a means to sting prey to eat. The crabs are so dependent on the anemones that if they only have one, they'll rip it in 2 because the creatures can regenerate, and they're known to steal from other crabs if they have none at all. Research has shown that if deprived of the anemones, the crabs struggle to feed themselves. And it was also revealed that when taken away from the crabs, anemones grow more than twice as big, suggesting the crustaceans deliberately stunt the growth, keeping the creatures small enough to hold in the claws. It seems the crabs need the anemones more than they need them, but experts don't know why. Number 3. Some strange circular stone structures were found in the middle of the Amazon rainforest, and the discovery may leave researchers with more questions than answers. The mysterious structures are dated to more than 2,000 years old and had been camouflaged by trees, but deforestation has now revealed more than 450 huge geoglyphs. Experts say the Stonehenge-like ditched enclosures occupy more than 8,000 square miles of the Acre State, located in the western Brazilian Amazon. It's thought that the enclosures may have been used for ritual gatherings, purpose of which is thus far unknown. Experts say the discovery has an additional impact as well. Evidence was found that humans had been altering areas of the forest for millennia in order to build these structures. That may force experts to reconsider the idea that the rainforest was a pristine and untouched ecosystem. Number 2. Two brothers in Indiana were fishing on the Wawasee River when they encountered the bizarre sight of a pikefish in the midst of swallowing a bass, and the two creatures were frozen solid in ice. A picture of the scene was posted to Facebook, which went viral. It prompted such a response, including claims of it being a fake, that the brothers went back to the location to film themselves sawing into the ice and extracting the creatures. In one angle, you can clearly see the bass sticking out of the pike's wide-open mouth. A video of the procedure was later uploaded to YouTube. As for how the two fish came to be frozen in such a strange position, well, the bass may have been caught and discarded by fishermen. It attracted the pike, which apparently choked on the bass and died. The creatures were likely adrift in the water until the lake froze over and encased them in ice. Well, that's one theory anyway. What's yours? Number 1. You know, there's an old saying about someone being so surprised that they jump out of the skin. Well, there's a gecko in Madagascar which can do exactly that, but likely you'd be more surprised than the reptile. While the lizards are known to shed the tails if grabbed, this newly discovered species will actually shed its entire skin to escape predators. The gecko has massive scales that tear away when an attacker tries to bite into it. That way, only the scales wind up in the mouth of the aggressor. But it leaves the gecko exposed and resembling a fillet of raw meat. The scales do regenerate scar-free within a few weeks. Experts say the scales are the largest found in any species of gecko and are specially adapted to tear away with pre-formed splitting, not unlike perforated paper. It's believed that the lizard's bizarre defense mechanism could have applications for human medicine.
This is Trending Tuesdays.